Fundamentally, it's your academic ability. First and foremost, business schools want to know that you can cut it, that you have the intellectual ability to handle their rigorous curriculum. So they're going to look at your GMAT and they're going to look at your GPA. And they look at it in tandem. So if you have strong GMAT but weak GPA, that could be questionable. So you might want to go take a few classes to demonstrate that you have the discipline to be in a classroom environment. Okay? Especially if your GMAT's very high. So clearly you're very smart, but they might question your discipline if your GPA was very weak, especially over the course of 4 years. The other thing they look at is the rigor of your coursework. How strong has it been? You might have an A+ in home economics. That's not really going to get anybody excited. On the other hand, you might have a 3.6 in astrophysics. That makes sense. They can see the rigor of the curriculum. So they do pay close attention to the school's reputation and the rigor of your undergraduate education. And then once they've looked at your academic component, can you cut it? Then they're going to look at your leadership. And if you think about leadership, you have to think about it in terms of your 3 C's of leadership. It's your college leadership, it's your community service leadership, and it's your career leadership. Consistency is key in this process. And so for some people, they have great leadership experiences in college. They were on the student activities board. They served in the student union. They managed a lot of their peers. They even started clubs or organizations on campus and led it. So they have a lot of good examples of leadership. But then they start working 100 hours as an investment banker or in private equity or as a consultant. And the leadership falls to the wayside as it relates to your community service. All hope is not lost. I tell people a few months of leadership example in your community service is better than no example whatsoever. And more than that, if you spend a lot of time at work, look for opportunities within your organization where you can create impact and lead, even outside of your formal work role. And then the 3rd C of leadership is your career leadership. Are you on an upward trajectory? Are you creating impact? It's really about impact. So schools care less about your job title and more about what you've delivered. Have you helped the organization think differently about anything? So leadership is key. And then finally, the 3rd category is uniqueness. What stands out about you? It's really about, at the heart of who you are, what is your brand and what stands apart? Are you somebody who loves an international environment? So we have clients who are bankers or private equity or engineers. That's part of their brand, but that's not the whole story. At their heart of hearts, they love travel. They love different cultures. They're very global. So an individual like that would have a brand as a globally minded banker who wants to do XYZ. So that might be you. For somebody else, it might be that you have a socially altruistic mindset. You're always looking for opportunities to invest in other people, in an organization, in non-profit organizations, etc. So dig deep, figure out what's unique about you, and be authentic and focus on that. So at the end of the day, business schools are looking for people who are going to stand apart. You have to have a track record of leadership. You have to show that you have the ability to cut it academically, and that you're somebody who's going to be dynamic and interesting to have in the classroom. At the end of the day, they want 800 or 600 people, or in the case of Stanford, 300 and something people, who can be invested and fun and interesting to have at their school.